So, good evening everyone. You are watching the L2S community. My name is Seb Bauer. Glad you're with us tonight for the L2S Formula 1 Tier 1 Race 17 in Russia. Yeah, welcome to everyone, and we will have another action-packed race here tonight. This is race 17 of 22, so we are already in a late stage of the season, and points are getting more and more important the later the year gets. The lobby is slowly but steadily filling up. The lobby is slowly but steadily filling up. We have 16 drivers that have checked in. We have a few minutes left until the qualifying will start, so let's have a quick look about the setup for tonight. We see a short, meaning 18 minutes qualifying, a 50% race that equals 27 laps here in Sochi. We have equal car performances, of course. Safety car and VSC is on, full damage, dynamic weather. This could be an issue to talk about. Strict corner cutting, and the assists, here you see them, is a specialty maybe, is the fact that you can maximally turn the traction control on medium, and the pit assist is on, pit release assist is off. So let's speak about the track that we are racing on. We are at guest in the Sochi Autodrome that has hosted the Olympic Winter Games of 2014, and the track is embedded in, or rather around, the Olympic facilities. Sochi is part of the Formula 1 since 2014, is 5.8 kilometers of length. That is the fourth longest track of the whole calendar. Features 19 turns, and we will see approximately 55,000 virtual fans here tonight. At least virtual, we can have filled stands. The lap record is held by Lewis Hamilton, dating back to 2019, a 1:35.7. And in the real life, this race has been won only by the Mercedes team. Yeah, teams we will not see tonight. We do not race in the usual team settings. We have unique car liveries, so in case you should be a Mercedes fan or Haas or Williams or whatever, please do not search for your favorite team, as they just do not exist. Yes, the lobby is readying up. We still have a few minutes to talk about warrior stuff going on. For example, we already have seen the Tier 2 race. We have a Tier 1 and a Tier 2. Tier 2 always the pre-event. We are now live at the start of the main event of tonight. The Tier 2 the race was won by Chris Tam. Very dominant performance by him. Congratulations. P2 then Would You Rather, and P3 Jimmy O, coming up from P11. I think he started, and he pushed ahead until he reached the podium. The race was very action-packed, and we have seen 3 safety car phases and 2 virtual safety cars, so a lot of stuff going on there. And well, I would like to say I expect something similar to happen for the Tier 1 race. Maybe not as dramatic, because in Tier 2, when we were situated in lap 11 to that time, we have not seen more than maximally 2 laps of green condition, so we will see if that will continue here tonight. We do have a Formula 2 likewise, so every Thursday evening we race with the Formula 2 cars, featuring the setup like in real life too, meaning we have a feature and a sprint race with reversed grid. In the F2, Aces Vikings was very strong in the last races, especially the last race, the last track in Azerbaijan. He captured P1 and P2, so that's strong performance. Likewise, Official is very strong there, with already summed up 13 podiums. Congratulations to that. And yeah, if you want to be part of the L2S community, no matter if F1 or F2, just have a look at our Twitter page. The link is just beyond here on this video, and the link is, just have to search it, I'm sorry for the delay, just getting it out, twitter.com/L2S Racing. And as we still have a little bit of time before this session timer ticks down, we should have, of course, an eye on the track limits tonight. So Russia is a bit of a strange combination. The walls are very close on the one hand. On the other hand, you can easily pick up penalties with extending the track limits or cutting corners. So that will be a topic tonight, as we have strict corner cutting rules. And so we are right on time. Let's have a look. 18 drivers have checked in. The session timer has started to tick down just when I was mentioning it. I will be back in a second. So this is the first view of the track. Here you see the ice hockey arena from the Winter Olympics 2014, and the big circle that we race around, a long left-handed turn here. And well, the Tier 2 race, we have seen the qualifying in fair weather, sunny condition, and the race then started in wet condition, but not a lot of racing action, as we saw a lot of safety cars in the early phase already, and the weather turned dry towards the end of the race. Let's see how the weather will be for our Tier 1 drivers now. Yeah, looks like fine weather, as we have the first view into the pit lane here. So the first seconds have ticked down already. No one has hit the track, so let's get in a bit of information that we will need for this qualifying. So Mark Ainley has mounted the medium tires at the moment. We will have an eye on if he should really start his first hot lap on the mediums then too. And the first guy to be ruled on the track is our Hungry Pigeon in his mint blue car, so let's stay with him for the moment. It's actually not the first one. First one is official. He's just ahead of him, but that does really not matter at the moment as we still have a lot of time here in the qualifying. Official, let's Hungry Pigeon past. So, as I said, the walls are very close here. There's no gravel, no grass anywhere here on the track or near the track. The slightest mistake could cost you the race or the qualifying. But likewise, right in the corners there is a lot of space to cut. So this can and will be an issue. Maybe not the biggest issue in the qualifying, but later in the race then definitely. So then the last two turns are 90-degree right-hander here, and then we are back on the start-finish line. Here's the start-finish, and the run down to the first turn is actually not the first turn. The first turn is coming up right here. The rundown from the start is very long, so a good start is incredibly important here in Sochi. And this is the long left-hander I was talking about. Sochi is one of the few tracks that goes really hard on both the front tires. Usually it's just one of them, but Sochi, both front tires are really tortured hard. Ian seems to have some connection issues, and connection issues, that's one thing we might have to talk about. This is already my third event I am broadcasting this week, and sadly in both of them we had some troubles and difficulties. One race just yesterday evening we even had to abort and restart, so I sincerely hope that we will not have some similar stuff going on here today. But luckily the tier 1 race was quite good, was quite clean, and Hungry Pigeon has posted the first hard lap. That's a 1:31.7, and that is, wow, exactly 4 seconds. 4 seconds faster than the real life time. Well, we are used to be faster in the virtual world than in the real life, but 4 seconds, that's really a big gap. And Official is behind him with his first shot by almost half a second. Sam I Ham is behind him by over a second. So this first hot lap could go down a long way, and my sentence is already to be scratched off because Landobot has vaporized the time. Vicuña did so too. So Hungry Pigeon, also he had a rather good lap, all of a sudden is downgraded to P3. Yeah, in the last week, last Thursday, we had a very entertaining race in Singapore, and Let's just jump to someone who is on a hot lap before talking about Singapore. Maybe let's stick to Nick Agnola, and you will soon find out why I am here with him. The race in Singapore was really entertaining. A up and down race, very long race as we are used from Singapore. A lot of debris salad, winglet salad, and the race was started in wet condition, dried out over the race, and in the end it was this guy in his black and a bit of red livery, Nick Agnola, who came away with the victory. A really dominant performance by him, catching official just in the last lap. The last lap was the deciding one for this race. Official then in P2. Mark Ainley had troubles in rain, but really showed what he can in dry conditions and therefore acquired P3. As I said, a really cool and entertaining race that is still on my channel, so if you wish you can still re-watch it from last week. And the last race was the deciding race if we should have a threesome battle for the championship or if it would just be a two-man duel. The scientist could have made it into a threesome, but sadly did not finish the race, did not acquire points. So due to the fact that Official was in P2 and his main opponent, the Slayer, just got P7 and therefore got only 6 points. Official increased his gap on Slayer, meaning the overall standings, I sadly cannot depict it in the PlayStation menu, but I will run it down for you right here while we have still a bit of time to talk about it. The official standings is Official in 1 with 214 points, followed by the Slayer with 202, equals minus 12 points, so still everything possible with 5 races left in the season. In P3 then Scientist with minus 56. In P4 Infamous, I'm still training my German tongue to pronounce your name correctly. Infamous in P4 with minus 80 points, and in 5th The Angry Orange with minus 113. So there's still some fight for P4 or P5, especially of course for P1, and some heavy midfield action, big midfield fight. Midfield is very close. For an example, the positions 12 to 15 are very close. P12 to 15, everyone has acquired 28 points, so 4 people are on level, and that is Bollocks, It's Jake, Chappie and Landobot. Landobot, who is still in the pole position. Nick Agnola, while I was talking about him and his great race, acquired P2 in the meanwhile. The Slayer in 3, so this is the big fight we have to watch. Slayer versus Official. Official right now in P8, but nothing's lost for him, at least at the moment. Still almost 8 minutes left to go. Let's have a look how it's going for him. Oh, not going at all. Had a hot lap running, but decided to abort it. Maybe let's have a look at someone who has not posted a time yet. Maybe Let's see what the bottom of the table is doing. A lot of guys still in the pits. Bellox is ruled on an outlap here in the last sector. The last sector is the technical sector with a lot of slow turns. And Bellox returns to the pits. Has not posted a time yet. He was running on mediums and he expected that these tires will not give him the pace that he needs. So he has opted to come back and try again on red tires later, I like to expect. And there is Meaty on the track. The red color of the track minimap shows us that his time is invalid. A bit too much of corner cutting, probably. So he is trying another hot lap here. Let's stick to him for the moment, as there is not too much action going on, but that's very usual for this time in the qualifying. So sector 1 is about to end here. Sadly, no comparison yet, as he did not have a time set yet. And as we are, as I mentioned, around about over 4 seconds faster than in real life, it doesn't make sense to compare his intermediate time with real life times, because if he would be on level to real life times, he'd be, yeah, somewhere round about last. So here he's already in the last sector, the technical sector with a lot of slow turns, 90-degree turns. Second last turn here. Pit entry is rather difficult, so that could turn into a problem for some guys later. And there he has spun. His lap time was a good one, giving him P3. He was lucky that he spun rather right on the timing line. Yeah, but anyway, P3. Good job, Meaty. I told you already last week. Meaty is, in my native German language, the word, the nickname for a little kitten. So our pink-black Union Jack kitten has shown that Kitty does have claws and can scratch pretty good, giving him P3. So 3.5 minutes left. We will soon enter the hectic last moments of the qualifying. At the moment, we see a new fastest lap, Landabot. Congratulations, good lap by him. So it seems like Russia fits to him, and if he could transform this good qualifying pace into a good race pace, he might have a big advantage and jump ahead against his 4 midfield contenders, who he is level on acquired points. Meanwhile, we see the Slayer here in P2, who is on an ill lap here. That will be close. I suppose Slayer will not be able to run again. He will not make it in the pits get new tires and get out on the track again. He needs to be over the timing line before the clock hits zeros, and he will not be able to make it. Nick Agnola still in the pits waiting for the right moment to go out, and there it is. Nick Agnola now on his out lap. Lando Bot has posted a hot lap. He's out of a possible improvement. Mitzi maybe still in the pits. Let's see if he will run again. Hungry Piggion is on a hot lap already now. Does not improve himself. Almost 2 seconds behind his hot lap. Our host Decunia on his out lap will start another hot lap soon. Aces Vikings is on a hot lap. His final shot. Maybe let's stay with him for a moment. Infamous and Official on an out lap likewise. And for Aces Vikings does not look good. At least P7. A little bit of improvement, giving him at least P7, giving him maximally P7. Sam I Ham is now ruled in P3. Where did that come from? His Braun GP livery giving him P3. That's a good lap. And for the pole run, maybe let's have a look what our championship contender Official is doing. He's still on an out lap. He needs to cross the timing line within the next 17 seconds. That should be possible, but it's close. And he does he have traffic? No traffic, but it's really close. Have a look at the clock time. With 2 seconds left on the clock, Official starts his final shot. Can it be any closer? Wow. So let's stay with him for his final shot. His big opponent Slayer has already stepped out of the car. Slayer is in P2. So a lot of positions for Official to make up to his prime opponent. The end of Sector 1 is coming up here. 2/10 of improvement, but that's... wow, that still lacks a lot. So with 2/10 he would just make maybe 1 or 2 starting grid rows, but not the 8, 9, 10 positions he would at least need to be close to Slayer. Decunia in P2. Decunia, our host, giving himself P2 and pushing ahead of Slayer. Slayer so in P4. What does Official do in the end of Sector 2? 7/10 of improvement. That is what he needed. That is the time he needs to post if he wants to be close to his main rival. The last sector, the slow turns I was speaking about. 2 more right-handers, 90-degree turns here. The first one and the second one. And where does the clock stop for him? 131.4. Only P8. Official only in P8. Ooh. 2 rows behind Slayer. But for the moment, congratulations to our pole setter. That is Landobot, who is right here in the pit entry. He might have tried to run again. I'm not sure if that's really right, but doesn't matter. He is in P1, followed by the Singapore winner Nick Agnola and Dean Cunha in P3. So one last thing before the CPU ends the qualifying. We all know the Parc Fermé rule. That means everyone from P1 to P10, from Landobot to Infamous, will have to start right on this set of softs from P11 and beyond, Frenzy and behind. Everyone can use the tire that they want. And we have finished the session. Here's the rundown of our starting grid. Landebot in pole, Nick Agnola in 2, Decunha in 3, 4th The Slayer, 5th Sam Iham, 6 Meatsy, 7 Hungry Pigeon, P8 for Official, P9 Aces Vikings, P10 Infamous, P11 Frenzy, P12 J Zarge, P13 Mark Ainley, P14 Moja, P15 The Scientist, P16 John Banter, P17 It's Jake, 18 and 19 have not set times. That's Ian and Bellox. And while we still have a few seconds to take a breather, to take the last sip of water, I will be with you in just a moment. So the session timer has ticked down. I can tell you one thing about the weather forecast. We will have something similar to our Tier 2 race, meaning we will have a dry start, rainy weather, and maybe a dry finish of the race. All our drivers are checking into the grid. We will not have an installation lap. We will just jump right into race action. The Russian Grand Prix is on. Good start for Landebot, but Nick is close, and Nick already got by him before the first turn. Everyone got a clean start, I would like to say. No big crash like we had in Tier 2. Let's have a look in the backfield, in the background, what's happening here. There is actually, luckily, no big issues, no crash for anyone. A bit of a lock tire here, but that's okay. Yes, clean starts for everyone, especially for Nick Agnola, who has had the best start and pushed for the lead here in the first lap. Let's get in some more information that we will need. Maybe let's have a look about the tires for the start. Oh, Sam Iham had a big accident here. Sam Iham. That's sad. After his good qualifying, he has ruined all that in the first lap already and will need an early pit stop. So the tires, the field is dominated by softs, only 3 guys taking mediums. And do we see another pit stop early? There's no one pitting, it seems. Does not look like as there was anyone pitting. Let's have a look at the position change. Yeah, there's some fight going on. There was some fight going on. Wheel-to-wheel action for turn 1 here. Sarge is attacking. Does he get the corner? Oh, that has been a warning, I suppose. His first warning. We have already seen a penalty for Hungry Pigeon. Threesome action here. But everything very tidy, I would like to call it. So the position changed from the start. Landebot has lost 2 positions, maybe the biggest loser of the start, if you can say so. Still in a good position though, but could not make his pole work out. the best way. Vicuña has lost the position too. Then in the top 10 there's actually nothing big going on, no bigger wins or losses. Mitzi on P10 with a +9. Wow, what an impressive start by our kitten. Ian then in P11 with a +6. That's great. And as mentioned, Sam Iham has ruined his good qualifying with a -14 in the first lap after the start. And Official versus Slayer, the big duel. We have to watch Official in P5. Searching the slipstream of Dean Cunha ahead. DRS will be enabled within this lap, so not yet. But as soon as we run through the first detection, we will have the drag reduction system on the rear wing opened up. So let's have a look. It's just a +3 for Hungry Piggion. I would like to say it will not be the last for today. not maybe for him, but for everyone we will probably see. And right when I speak about it, Infamous got himself a +3. Likewise to our leader. So, and now Dean Cunha got 1, 2. So this will go on and go on and go on. I will rather ignore it for the race until the final few laps. And Cunha is close here to Landobot. So Landobot does not have a good first stint here. It's not only that the start wasn't good, the first few laps with a heavy car with a filled tank. Maybe a heavy car is not his strength. So the Cunha's searching the slipstream here. The DRS should be open. That it is. And he attacks Landobot right away. Landobot defending himself. Still worked in Landobot's favor, but he will not be able to make it go on for quite long. And there's a surprise attack by Official on the inside. And Official takes a wide line here. And wheel-to-wheel action between the green-black cars. Ooh, multiple turns. They go wheel-to-wheel, and now Official got him. Ooh, nice fight here in the early get-go. And just like the weather forecast told us, we see the first raindrops here. Raindrops on the halo of the Cunha, who is under pressure here by Hungry Piggion, but DRS for the Piggion is not an advantage, as the Cunha has it himself likewise. And Official already going aggressively on Landobot. Ooh, did not attack him right away, but that is soon to come. Maybe right here, maybe right now. No, not yet. He is waiting for the DRS, and why does he do it? Because the Slayer has acquired the lead. The Slayer has passed Nick Agnola. Sadly, we couldn't depict it. There is no replay in live stream. Sadly, Official with the attack. Not yet. Maybe on the outside here. Wheel-to-wheel action in the long left-hander. There's still enough grip. And he did it. He did it. Landobot losing another spot from his pole position. So our big duel, Slayer in P1 and Official in P3. Nick Agnola right in between. He is still close to Slayer, rather close, at least close enough to be in the DRS window. And the rain has not just started, the rain has picked up, and we will see intermediate tires, and Moshe already stopped on it on P17. He is already ruled to be on green tires. In these moments here he will lose time, but it's just a question of laps until he is the faster or the fastest one on the track. And now everyone pits. Slayer pits, Nick Agnola does, Official did too, so no advantage for anyone. Oh, a lot of pit stop action here right now. Let's see whose crew works the fastest for the probably intermediate tire change. DRS has been disabled as we know it from rainy conditions. Oh, bit of an unsafe release maybe for Official here. Oh no, Landobot has opted for the wrong tire. Oh no. Big mistake in the MFD, the multifunctional display. He has clicked on the wrong tire. He has opted hard. That is not what he wanted. Oh, and he runs wide as he is out of control of his car, out of grip. He will lose a lot of positions in this lap. This one lap will torture him like hell now. Oh, that is sad. A mistake that every driver in the Codemasters game has committed already. It is so easily to just click on one click too far or too less and be on the wrong tire. That's angry. He will be angry right now. Whew. But the race isn't over yet, so Landobot would need a big comeback in the end, of course, but it isn't over yet. All the best to you, Landobot. Yeah, and while we see him crawl back to the pits, let's have a look at some action going on. We are here back with Dean Cunha. He lost a few places. I think he was in a better position before the pit stop action. Jay Sarge, for example, pushed ahead from him, while we see the first DNF, that is Sam Iham, who has either decided to let it be for tonight or crashed somewhere. We have yellow in sector 1, but should vanish soon, I think. No safety car needed. And so, well, let's see who can deal with wet conditions best. The cars will probably be set up for dry conditions, so everyone will struggle a bit with the transition to wet situation. Hungry Pigeon is drifting a lot here in the long left-hander. But Aces Vikings on P4 just ahead doesn't seem too good. Likewise, the attack here from Cunha. No, from Jay Sarge, I'm sorry. Jay Sarge. Yes, he got it. He got it done. P5 for him now. And a lot of struggles for him too. But he gets closer to Aces Vikings. So our Viking might not be the best swimmer. Let's see how that will go on. In the front group, Nick Agnola has reacquired the lead in the pits. The Slayer was in front of him when entering the pits. Now Nick is the leader again. And we see the two big rivals here. P2 and P3. Just about 2 seconds separate them. Slayer into Official in 3. Official leads. Official leads by 12 points. Means if the race would end right here, Slayer would make up 3 points on him. So Official could live with that result, I would like to call it. Of course, he's a racer and he wants to push ahead, but this would not be a catastrophe for him. Especially if we take the penalty into account from Slayer, he might even be ahead of him in the end again. But yeah, we have just seen 1/3 of the race, so a lot of action is yet to come. And if the weather forecast is right, we could see a sprint in the end on slicks again. No, there's been action, there's been a crash. Frenzy has caused a short yellow phase, but seems like he did not pick up damage, so wasn't too bad. He just lost a few positions, but not more to happen. Let's get back to our followers, the podium followers. A little yellow in the very end of the track, sector 3, now sector 1. We see the Hungry Pigeon chasing Chasart. Oh, Jake has left. Jake has crashed, maybe. That was the yellow flag I was mentioning. Not safety car worthy, but sadly the end of Jake's race. That's sad. I hope you will stay with us and watch the rest of the race. Watch the other boys here on the stream. Hungry Pigeon seems to struggle a bit in the slow turns. And Jay Sarge likewise, he was rather close to Ace's Vikings, but then committed maybe a little bit of a mistake while accelerating in the slow turns. And here on the faster sectors it seems like he is able to close the gap again. So we could assume that Vikings car is set up for turns rather than full speed. And what is going on here? Slayer has lost time on Nick Agnola, and Official is close to him. Official 3/10 of a second behind Slayer. This is a big duel of our two leaders in the overall standings, and Official attacks him here on the outside lane. Slayer defending, bit of a touch here, bit of a slide, but in general everything okay. Ooh, Slayer was able to stay in front for the moment, and all that. Ooh, struggles for Official while accelerating, but he could hold his car on track and away from the walls. And the lucky one is Nick Agnola, pushing away. 4.5 seconds approximately the gap now on Slayer, so seems like he is looking pretty strong here again. Could be a back-to-back win for him. Could. Still a lot of racing to go. And Official has to recover from that unsuccessful attack that Slayer just squashed off. While we watch him, let's jump in the midfield for a moment. Let's have a look at Ian right here, who is close to Scientist, who is close to Decunia. So Decunia was in a rather good spot in the early get-go, but lost time here in the rain. Another driver that does not seem to be comfortable in the wet conditions, so this could turn out into a threesome for P7. No one behind Ian. Ian, who by the way is one of our commentators for the Tier 2 race. So I mentioned it early that Tier 2 is the pre-event, always racing before the Tier 1. Ian and Infamous are our two commentators for that event, while our Formula 2 is broadcasted by Infinite Gamer. on Tuesday evenings. And this fight is actually not a fight at all. Scientists committed a mistake here, and that could bring Ian into action. Slipstream here. This will turn into an attack here in the first turn. There it is. Late lunge from Ian. Scientists noticed that and left him some breathing space. He could have shut the door, but then that would have been costly for any of those two guys, if not even both. And Legunya was able to have a bit of breathing space, put a bit of gap between them, not much, but they are not right in his gearbox anymore. So I cannot tell right now if the rain has eased up or not, but the racing line is visible, so it's not totally pouring down. I think we will not see the full wet tires, but it's too early to talk about slicks too. So it seems like we are right on the right tire for the moment. The question now is, who of the drivers can conserve their inters the best, or who will need another set of green rubber? And that could decide this race, at least for a few positions. Mitzi's in the pits. There it is. We will stay with him for a moment to see what happened, because 5 laps would be rather quick for new inters. Just new inters. And serving a penalty here. So I wasn't expecting drivers to come in that early. Oh no, and Mitzi's out. Mitzi's out. Oh, that's sad. That's sad for him. He will be ghosted now, and he's not ghosted. The CPU will just park his car somewhere here, and then we will maybe see a first safety car phase. Let's see how that goes on, while we are with Official here, who has come back to Slayer. Second attack about to come up soon, I would like to expect. Bit of a lock tire here, but not a big problem. Did not leave the racing line. Oh, have a look how close he is, and now he will push the overtake button, get his engine into rich mode, and will attack him here again for the first turn. This might work. Might work. Ooh, bit of a touch here. Slayer takes the exit and stays in front. Ooh. Action, action, action. Although they have slightly touched for the second time, I would still like to think that it is very, very fair and safe driving and fighting between those guys. So they do know what it's about to do multiplayer online racing. And Official stays very close, within half a second, so not like the first time. He will stay closer to him here. And no DRs in the DR zone, of course, due to the wet condition. No attack this time. We can rather easily stay here. There's only Hungry Pigeon in a attacking position somewhere else. Ooh, maybe a little bit of a touch here from Official as he braked a bit too late, and now he might be too far away for an attack on Slayer on the long straight here again. The last lap he was closer to him. For the moment, let's have a look what Ian is doing against the Kunya here. He's closer than Official to Slayer. But the Kunya is fast on the straight. No chance for an attack for Ian. As we jump ahead just a little bit, there's Hungry Pigeon behind J-Sarge. And J-Sarge, who just got a +3, is not too far away from Ace's Vikings, but all of them not able to attack anyone ahead. So no one on the track is within half a second to a guy ahead, right at the midway point of the race. We are in lap 14, and 14 laps plus the rest of this is still to be raced. Ian now is closer to the Kunya, but we know that our host is fast on the long straight. Ian now in the slipstream, but it's a difficult braking point here as it's a bit in a turn. No chance for an attack, and Official is close again. Third attack from Official on Slayer. Not yet, but he will try to be errorless in these last turns. Yeah, he's close here. He is close. J-Sarge in the pits for the moment. Official, oh, he's again too far away to attack, I would like to say. He will come close at the end of the long straight, but no attack for him here. Maybe at the end of the long left-hander, but that's difficult to take in wet conditions due to the dirty air kicking in double like in dry. And Mark Ainley and J-Sarge both have opted for fresh inters. So what I was mentioning earlier, if drivers try to conserve this set of inters, or if they try to be fast on a newer set, Mark Ainley and J-Sarge have opted for the second idea, and Official close here again in the slipstream. Next attack, not yet. Always a little bit of a lock tire for Official, but as long as he doesn't leave the racing line, it's not a big problem. Oh, he's so close, but he just cannot get his car next to him. In dry conditions, he should have a big advantage with DRS, but not in the rain, of course. Next time, the long straight, the DRS-less DRS zone. Just a slipstream Slayer defending himself, but Official cannot push next to him. Haha, what a great race between our two big rivals. And while they are fighting, Nick Agnola has pushed away for almost 8 seconds. So as long as Nick Agnola doesn't throw away this race, I think it's his race, it's his victory to lose. And it's actually only Official being close, as we see from the helicopter perspective here. It's only him and Ian who are in fighting action at the moment. He's close again. Slipstream action, and he has crashed! Oh no! Oh no! He has crashed into the barrier, losing at least a end plate there. I mentioned it just one lap before. This braking point is so evil as the car is unstable. You are actually in a turn and have to brake for the next turn. And and official needs a new nose. Ah, that is sad. Oh, and Nick Agnola is in the pits too. So Nick Agnola and official have now opted for the strategy to get themselves fresh inters, to be faster on the fresh set of tire. Nick opted to for this strategy just because he thinks it's faster. Official was forced to do so, and a lot of guys are pitting now. Likewise, is Chazard, Decunia, Ian, Scientist, Frenzy, Mosha. So almost half the grid has pitted now for fresh inters. Official. Well, if Hungry Piggy on Vikings and Slayer should pit too, he will be back in his P3, maybe P4. So, due to the fact that the others needed a pit stop too, he did not lost that much. He just lost maybe 3, 4, 5 seconds as additional length for his new front wing. But overall, he was rather lucky, I would like to call it, in this situation. So let's have a look at Slayer, if he will come into the pits here too, as everyone else got themselves fresh inters. He does not. He does not. He will go on his used set of inters. Well, the rain has eased up, I think, but did not entirely vanish. So let's have a look up at the overall gap. Official is 30 seconds behind Slayer. With the pit stop delta, I would like to say if Slayer should come in this lap, he might still be in front, but he should not wait longer, and he has crashed! What happened to him? Oh my goodness, he lost the car while accelerating, and now he will need to stop. And all of the strategy conversation is over. It's over. Both our top runners having wall actions here. Slayer has lost the position to Nick Agnola. That's obvious. He will lose more positions. And maybe Official has had some troubles too, as he is in traffic here. Official has to fight against the Cunha and 3 other guys who all have stopped, so he has lost these 4 positions due to his prolonged pit stop, getting a new nose. And I don't know if he knows already what happened to his main contender. Bit of pushing and shoving against the Cunha. Oh, heavy fighting between them. Oh, wow, but he pushed through. And the Cunha tried to counter it and lost his car. Big braking problems for the Cunha, but he does not need a pit stop. So Slayer is in the pits here right now. Official will probably overtake him. He did. Officially no, sorry, official, now officially in front of the Slayer, both having intense troubles, intense wing issues, and well, it's not the most prominent positions they are racing right now in. Official in P8, Slayer in P11, but for official that would work. He would still increase his gap by 4 points right now, and he is close to Ian and John Bunter. So John Bunter did not pit yet, so he will get 1 position back as soon as Bunter will enter the pit lane. Official can have a few positions back. He's very close now, in the lead, by the way. Now is Aces Vikings. Woohoo! No, no, no! Official having trouble again. Oh no! And he's out. His car is damaged. Official is out. Oh no! DNF for official, broke suspension, I would like to assume. And now all eyes on Slayer. How much points he can acquire here in the late stage, in the last third of the race. How many points can he make up on his big rival? It's sad. It's a bit sad that the duel between those two guys ended with carbon salad, and that official is out of the race. But well, that's racing. That is racing. And oh, De Cunha is out too. Oh, De Cunha is out too. I cannot jump to him. Let's just hope that Landobot will get close to the accident point fast enough before De Cunha vanishes. But I think he's already gone. Landobot too far away from the yellow phase, as we can see on the minimap. Oh, that's sad. So De Cunha was in a good position. Oh, Landobot struggling here. Don't throw it away entirely. So it seems a few guys are struggling here right now. Yellow in sector 1. Still no safety car, not even a virtual safety car. So, who is close? Where is fighting action going on? Attack from Ian against John Bunter, who is still on his 13 laps old Inters, and he is struggling on them. Ian searching for the slipstream, but I think he should know that he will get him easily as soon as Bunter commits the next mistake in any corner soon. John Bunter, infamous in P3. Aces Vikings in prime position. Those are the guys, Bellocs in 11-2, who are on really old Inters. Those are the drivers that did not stop yet. And, well, I'm not sure if we should still have wet conditions in the end, so they will rather try to go through on this old set of Inters. Let's see if they can make that last. Russia is not known as a track for going hard on tires, so tire degradation is usually not a big topic in Russia. But still, it would be very, very long for these guys. And here is the Hungry Pigeon within approximately half a second to chase Sarge. We have yellow, and those two guys run right into the yellow sector here. What has happened? What has happened here? Nothing. Well, not nothing, but... Oh, Landobot! No! I was just talking about him a lap ago. Yeah. Not his best day, but well, there will be brighter days for this guy. I am very sure of that. And Ian is still very close to John Bunter. So close he could almost touch his rear wing. Ah, but on the straight, Bunter is fast. On the straight, Ian does not stand a chance to attack him. Landerbot now officially out. After his second spin or whatever it was just enough for him today. Oh, have a look at that. Have a look how fast Ian could be in the turns on his fresher set of rubber. But he just can't find a way around Ian Bunter, and that brings the scientist into action. Just half a second behind Ian, so John Bunter is holding these two guys up. That's visible here. And now finally, sadly we didn't see it. Didn't happen too long ago. Nick Agnola has reconquered his lead. Aces Vikings on his used set of Inters had quite a big gap, but not big enough to stay in front of the much faster Nick Agnola. And as we enter the last 5 laps, or maybe is Vikings countering? Just showed himself in the rearview mirror. And John Bunter is still holding up the two guys behind him. This will maybe turn into a threesome action here in the late stage of the race. While we watch them, let's have a quick look about the penalties. Ooh. No way beyond. Hungry Pigeon is close to J-Sarge here too. But likewise, no way around him. So even though we see a few drivers being faster than the one ahead, there is just no way around them. As long as they do not commit a mistake. If they in front just get a little bit of a clean acceleration, there is no possibility of an attack. And 4 laps plus the rest of this is still to go, and there is still a lot of racing action left. There are a few positions that are not decided yet. It seems like that the track is drying out, so even though we see a bit of spray here, I think right at the end of the race we might be able to run on slicks again, but no one will risk to get back to the pits, I suppose. And right when I say it, John Bunter takes the pit entry. So while he is pitting, a quick look at the penalty situation. Nick Agnola is leading but has a +9. Aces Vikings only +3. And he gets softs. John Bunter on softs. The first one who tries the slick tire. Scientist attacking Ian, and he gets it done. I don't know if Ian committed a bit of a mistake, maybe, but after Ian could not overtake Bunter, Scientist shows him that it is possible. Yes, so the penalty situation. Aces Vikings has a +3, Nick has a +9, meaning Aces Vikings just needs to stay within 6 seconds and he will be granted the lead and the victory in the end. So our Viking could see himself into a race victory here today. And let's jump back to the tire situation. No one in the points has opted to go for slicks. Late attack here from Ian, countering, getting back his position. Oof, no, not yet. Bit of a touch there, but I think no damage to his car. And Aces Vikings in the pits for softs, giving Nick some breathing room. Scientist will go in for softs. Ian does not. Oh, let's see who of those guys will stick to the inters and hope that their gap will be big enough to conserve that for the rest of the race. Aces Vikings has fallen back to P5. There he is. He will probably be the fastest or among the fastest, but will that be enough to reconquer the lost positions ahead? There's already one. Hungry Piggion committed a mistake on his probably heated inters. So this is the big hunt of the Viking now, hunting those three guys ahead: J-Sarge, Infamous and Nick Agnola. Let's see who is the next mounting slicks. Infamous, 18 laps old inters. They got to be falling off already. It's a dumb situation. It's really a strange situation. No one wants to pit just 3 laps before the end, but I think you have to. You had to. Now it's already too late, probably. You can see how easily Viking gets closer to J-Sarge. He has closed the gap of 5 seconds within this 1 lap only. And Infamous in the pits. Infamous in the pits. And Vikings easily passes J-Sarge. The Viking runs circles around J-Sarge on the better tire and is in P2 now. He has 21 seconds gap to Nick Agnola. Whew. I think he will not close that gap. But let's get the penalties displayed again. So he is 6 seconds up on penalties against Nick. Means he doesn't have to overtake him. He needs to get within a gap of 6 seconds to be the winner in the end. Oh, but that will be close. He's faster, but not that fast. I think he will not be able to make that. Meanwhile, Slayer is in P5. He is one of those guys who will try to get through the race and hope that the inters will stay good enough until the end. He's 10 seconds behind Scientist. I guess Scientist will not make up that, but Slayer has a penalty and Scientist does not. Oh, 9 seconds for Slayer, so he will definitely lose the position, at least 1 position to Scientist, maybe even more. So as we are in the last lap, let's have the penalties depicted. Sadly, I cannot show you penalties and tire situation. This is one of the very few races we have this special situation that not everyone is running on the same tire, at least not on the same slick tire. And Aces Vikings needs to find 5 seconds in this last lap. As long as Nick doesn't commit a mistake, I think he should be safe. So there is no direct racing action going on, no fights. We will stay the last lap with the penalty information on. Oh, and it's getting close. It's just like last week, but differently. Last week it was Nick who got the race win in the last lap due to penalties, and today he will lose the win just the same way because Aces Vikings is within the 6 seconds. And as long as Vikings does not commit a mistake, he will be given the race win in the end. Have a look how much Nick Agnola is struggling on his inters. Definitely the wrong decision to stay out on them. And Vikings will even overtake him in the end. Viking will even overtake him. There it is. The final maneuver for Aces Vikings. And this will be the win for the Viking. Congratulations, Aces Vikings. Nick Agnola, he has even crashed right after the checkered flag. He has crashed, just like we saw it in the qualifying. He has lost some wings, but luckily the start-finish line was right after the turn, so he is granted his P2. Scientist is here in 3, has finished in P3. Congratulations to the third one on the podium. Then 4th will be John Bunter due to penalties. 5th, J Sarge. Ian then in 6. Slayer in 7. We have a lot of up and down due to the penalties in the end. So, but it seems like the top drivers are classified now. My goodness, how evil are these last laps? The L2S community has the most devilish last laps I have ever seen in virtual racing, and for the moment, congratulations to Aces Vikings and our driver of the day, the Scientist. So here is our podium, after penalties of course. All these guys deserve the champagne! And here is our final result after penalties. Aces Vikings has won the Grand Prix just ahead of Nick Agnola, who has lost the win just the same way he won it in Singapore last week. Then in P3 the Scientist, in 4 John Banter, 5 J Sarge, 6 Ian, 7 the Slayer. In P8 Infamous, in P9 Hungry Pigeon, 10 for Frenzy, 11 Mosher, 12 Mark Ainley, 13 Bellox, and 14 and beyond did not finish. That is Landobot, Decunia, Official, Meatsy, Jake, and Sam I Ham. So with Slayer finishing in P7, he makes up at least 6 points on Official, who sadly did not finish, and that makes the title race a lot closer for the next races. So these are the final pictures of the track. We have had an incredible race once again, with a lot of action, and like we are already used to it from L2S races, they are just decided within the last lap, or actually the last 5 turns or something. So that is right the racing action we want to see. Congratulations again to everyone for this really cool and great race. Thank you guys for being with us, for being with the L2S community. Check out our Twitter, that is twitter.com/L2S Racing. We will be back next week, right the same time. Tier 2 starts around about 8 PM UK time. Tier 1, no, I'm sorry, at 7 PM UK time, and Tier 1 starts 9 PM UK time Thursday evenings. Then we will be in Suzuka, Japan. Thanks for being with us again. I hope you liked it just as much as I did. Have a good evening. Stay safe in these times. And keep racing.